everyone. So today I am sharing a card which I've made, which is this. So it has a vellum and I've stamped vintage garden stamp set and I've made this card. So for this project I have used the stamp set called Vintage Garden, and then for my sentiments I've used block sentiments. I've also used cardstocks, white cardstock, which measures 5.5 by 4.25. Then I've used a black cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And then there's a pink cardstock which I have used as 3 3/4 by 5, and the vellum measures the same as 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry. Okay, and then we will need 2 pieces of brads, a piercing tool, Altenew tape runner, and also because we are stamping on vellum, so I tend to use this Altenew permanent black. It's very good, it dries quickly. Sometimes I have to use my heat gun, but it's very good to stamp on the vellum. And also we will need our stamping tool. So let's get started. Okay, so first what we will do is we will position our pink cardstock. So we will work on the pink cardstock. So I've positioned that on my stamping tool, Misty, and placing that, and I will just take my stamps from the Vintage Garden. You can see I've made this card, so I'll position that onto my cardstock. I'll probably move this in the middle just so that I know where it sits. So I'll position that there. Then I place my stamps wherever I need to, just like that. Close my Misty, pick up the stamps, then I ink up my stamp. Because it's a bit lighter, so I will go ahead and do it one more time. There you go. So once you're stamped on the pink cardstock, don't move your stamps. So because we will need our vellum, so we will place our vellum on top of the pink cardstock. And then what I did for my sentiments, I have created, so what I have used in this is from this block sentiments, I have stamped this stamps which says challenge what make life interesting, overcoming them is what makes them meaningful. So I stamped on a piece of paper and I cut it to create a mask for myself. Then what I did is I used a bit of this Altenew adhesive tape runner because they are repositional and I love them. So I will just place my sentiments wherever I would like it to go, so that I know that my sentiment is going there and it is stuck. Once I've done that, I'll again go and stamp my Vintage Garden flower stamp and then re-ink the stamp and stamp on my vellum just above it. And it just stamps on the top I will re-ink one more time just to have a little bit darker image. Stamp it again. And there you go. So once I was happy with that, I will go and clean my stamps and then I'll come back. Okay, so now I'm happy with what I have done with my stamping. So I will first, before removing my mask, I will go and first dry it in my heat gun. You have to move your heat gun because it might get shrink. It might shrink as well with the heat. So just keep moving your heat gun once you see it's all dry. So now my area is dry, nice and dry. So I will just use my tweezers to remove my mask. There you go. And I tend to keep those masks because I know I will use it in future. So now I will go ahead and take my stamps off and place it over the mask area so that I can stamp it exactly where I want, just like that. And I close my MISTI. Pick up the stamps. If it moves a little bit, don't get scared. You can just make it place over your stamps again, like that, and just have a look if it's right at the place. Yes. Then ink up your stamp. Then stamp again. Your sentiments. I'll just go and do it once more. Close the lid. Stamp it again. There you go. I'll just clean my sentiments. I'm just using a normal microfiber cloth and then just cleaning it. You can use a little bit of soapy water as well to clean your stamps. Place it back. So now I'll dry this first. I'll remove my MISTI side. First I will dry my sentiment because it's a bit wet. What else I did is I stamped some of the leaves, extra leaves as well from the same vintage garden stamp set. So I just took a block, acrylic block, and I'll just take some cushion down underneath so that it stays well. I'll just take the cushions from my MISTI. And then I'll just ink up them and just stamp it where I think it's looking a bit blank, just like that. You really don't need a mask for this, but if you want an overlapping leaves, then yes, you can do it, but I tend to just randomly stamp where I see there is a groove. I just mix and match there, and a little bit there if I need to. There you go. Then what I'll do is I have to stamp the same leaves on top as well. Let me just first dry these. Then what I'll do is I'll just place my vellum as well because I need to stamp on that as well. So So I might need my Misty this time, because I'll have to hold the vellum in place. So I'll just keep it nice and matched the areas, putting it there, got my leaves there, and I will just stamp and overlap it. Oops. So I'll just go and overlap my those stems. Just move a little bit. Oops, I smushed it. That's okay. Then I stamped there, a little bit there, and a there. Okay. So once I've done that, I will go ahead and dry these as well before I smudge anymore. Pull my Misty away. Dry these. Make sure you dry it every time you stamp on a vellum, because yes, this ink does remain a bit wet, but once you dry it with your heat gun, it dries away. So it's not going to smudge once it dries. Now my inks are dry, so as you can see. I'm not sure if it's very hard to see. Anyways, so what I'll do next is I have got these two brads sitting with me here. It's a teeny tiny brad. I'll take a piercing mat for myself, and then I'll go ahead and pierce it on the corners wherever I want, and I just eyeball that area of stamping it there, piercing it there. I took my brad, matched, and put it through. Same I did on this area, on this side, pierced. Oops. So there you go. So that's your top. That's the top of your card, which is this pink and the vellum. And now I'm going to adhere them to my base cardstocks. And the white one, which is this here. That's your card. So I'll put some adhesive on the black cardstock. Put it on the side. Eyeball there, and then I will adhere this one as well onto my base. There you go. So your card is ready.